I'm Dr. Stan Dawson. I'm the Executive Director of ASHA School of Massage in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I want to welcome you to the first free lesson on whole health coaching program. And I'm going to share with you some thoughts and theories today that talk about the underlying principles of holistic health and how the spirit, mind, body interacts as a continuum, as a single entity rather than three separate things. So I'm going to draw a circle as representing the mind-body system, with spirit being represented as a dot in the center, and mind and body being the poles at the top and bottom of the circle. It's the mental end, physical end, spirit is the core, center. So the spirit, mind, body system is really one thing, which is represented by the circle. Now, as I draw this diagram, you're going to see me draw lines, and each line represents the relationship of interdependence, which means that changes in the one thing will affect the other, and vice versa. So mind and body are interdependent. And one example of that is that body structure and mind are interdependent. For every mood and mental state, there's a corresponding facial expression and body posture. And if your posture and face changes, it affects your mood and mental state. Another example of that, the interdependence of mind and body, is that body chemistry and mental state are interdependent. If you change body chemistry, it will affect the mind and vice versa. The organs and muscles within the body are interdependent. Changes in your body structure will affect your organs. The muscles being out of balance will affect the organ function and vice versa. And if you're a psychologist and you're focused on the psychological, mental end of the poles, you focus more on emotional health, mental health, representing how people are thinking and what their beliefs are. And as you work on this end of the system, sometimes in order to make progress, you have to deal with the body. You have to get the body into balance in order for the mind to come into balance. And that means that everything is so intimately connected that if you change anything in the system, that change will reverberate through the whole system and affect all the other aspects. So the spirit, mind, body system is fully integrated and fully interdependent. Now, stress is anything that creates a demand on the system that the system needs to expend some energy in order to restore and maintain balance as a reaction to that stress. Normally, the body adapts, and the power of adaptation is constantly working to restore balance and maintain balance. The system is self-organizing, it's self-healing. And so even though it's constantly being thrown out of balance, it's constantly restoring balance by its innate nature. But sometimes stress overwhelms our capacity to adapt. And when it does, tension results in the mind and body. And the tension that shows up will show up in body structure, in body chemistry, in the mind. It will affect the emotional health of the person, and that tension will affect how they think and feel. So that the pattern of tension will manifest in the same kind of integrated way, interdependent way. There'll be a structural component to it, a biochemical component, a psychological component to that imbalance. As we accumulate imbalance, symptoms eventually show up. If we then intervene to try to resolve that pattern of tension, the symptoms are the first to go away, and the core pattern of tension is the last to be resolved. So if you have an iceberg floating in the ocean, 10% of the iceberg is above the waterline, and 90% is below the water line. Same kind of relationship is between the pattern, the part of the pattern that's creating symptoms or illness, and the core pattern of imbalance. Illness care focuses on getting rid of the tip of the iceberg, which will get rid of and resolve the symptoms. Wellness care focuses on the core pattern of imbalance. Getting rid of this gets rid of much more than just the symptoms that were consciously noticed. It restores a person to more robust health and moves them towards optimal health. So as we resolve the tension and get rid of the illness and then get rid of the core pattern, we move towards optimal health. So here we have a continuum, or an axis of forces acting on the system that create imbalance and that restore and maintain balance. Here we have an axis of well-being, from lesser states of well-being characterized by greater levels of tension and symptoms to higher states of well-being characterized by greater balance and optimal health.